años como miembro de la organización de WICAM. Soy un líder de la campaña de Sembrando Justicia y soy parte de la mesa directiva. Hoy, 1 de mayo, es Día Internacional de los Trabajadores. Estamos aquí para conmemorar una fecha histórica para la clase trabajadora. Un día como hoy se construyó un movimiento de lucha bajo la consigna 8 horas de trabajo, 8 horas de descanso y 8 horas de recreación. Yes. Esos trabajadores buscaban eliminar los abusos y el maltrato. Tristemente, 140 años más tarde, seguimos en las calles con las mismas demandas. Hoy venimos de Homestead, de las nurserías donde trabajamos, para que nos escuchen nuestra voz. En el sur de la Florida contamos con más de 1,500 nurserías. Fuertes aplausos. Incluyendo una de las más grandes del mundo, Costa Farm. Esta industria genera mucho dinero y somos nosotros, los trabajadores inmigrantes, quienes producimos y cultivamos todas las plantas que salen de estas nurserías. Pero detrás de estas plantas bonitas hay otra realidad para nosotros los trabajadores. En muchas nurserías, nosotros los trabajadores estamos pasando mucho sufrimiento. Trabajamos bajo los calores sin poder tomar agua. No nos pagan suficiente. No respetan nuestro tiempo de almuerzo. Aguantamos hambre. Nos ponen a trabajar jornadas largas de más de 10 horas. Sufrimos de robo de salario, de intimidaciones y de represalias. ¡Fuertes aplausos! Esta es la triste realidad para miles de trabajadores en las nurserías. Pero sabemos que somos importantes y merecemos respeto. Sin nosotros, las compañías no ganarían dinero. Sin nosotros, no hay plantas en las tiendas. ¿De dónde ganaran dinero ellos? Sin nuestras manos. Hoy es una alegría de verlos a todos ustedes en nuestra primera marcha por Sembrando Justicia. Nosotros nos hemos organizado con WICAM. Estamos construyendo un movimiento fuerte y hemos encontrado una solución que se llama Sembrando Justicia.
Justicia, unión,
Estamos uniendo el poder de todos los trabajadores de Norcería, los consumidores y la comunidad para impulsar cambios verdaderos. Hoy hacemos el llamado a todas las tiendas que suplen plantas de las Norcerías de Florida, donde nosotros trabajamos como Trader Joe's, Aldi, Home Depot, Sprout y Target, a que pongan en práctica los valores que promueven. Hemos pedido una reunión con los líderes de estas corporaciones y seguimos esperando su respuesta. Si tanto les importa la vida y la salud de los trabajadores en su cadena de suministro, ¿por qué no se quieren reunir con nosotros? Eso es la pregunta. Nuestro mensaje hoy es claro. Es tiempo que estas corporaciones se sientan en la mesa con los trabajadores de las Norcerías y se unan al programa Sembrando Justicia. A tiendas y productores grandes, es tiempo que tomen un paso adelante y sean parte de la solución. Hoy vamos a marchar por las calles de Coral Gables para traer este mensaje directamente y continuar nuestra lucha por salarios justos, por condiciones seguras y por el respeto que todos los trabajadores merecemos. Y con el apoyo de todos ustedes, ¡vamos a ganar! ¡Sí se puede, compañeros! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
Bueno, vamos a hacer una consigna. Vamos a hacer la consigna. El pueblo unido. Bueno, pero vamos a hacer 3 veces. Yo voy a decir el pueblo unido y ustedes van a decir. Bueno, vamos, compañeros. Un pueblo unido
Será vencido.
Un pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
Un pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
Bien. Bien, entonces, muchas gracias, compañeros, por todos los que estamos aquí reunidos y gracias por acompañarnos. Aquí les dejo la compañía.
Hello, this is interpretation. Hello, everyone present. Hello, fellow workers, union representatives, community organizations, faith leaders, students, and community members. My name is Alejandro Perez Gonzalez. I am from Guatemala. I've been a member of We Count for 5 years. I am a worker leader of the Planting Justice Campaign and I serve on the board of directors. Today, May 1st, is International Workers' Day. Yeah! We are here to commemorate a historic day for the working class. On a day like today, a movement was built under the slogan, 8 work hours, 8 hours of leisure, and 8 hours of rest. Those workers sought to put an end to their abuse and mistreatment. Sadly, 140 years later, we are still in the streets with some of the same demands. Today, we are here. We have come here from Homestead, from the plant nurseries where we work, to come make sure our voices can be heard. Here in South Florida, there are over 1,500 nurseries, including one of the largest in the world, Costa Farms. This industry generates vast amounts of money, and it is we, immigrant workers, who produce and cultivate every single plant that leaves in these nurseries. Yet, behind these beautiful plants lies a very different reality. In many plant nurseries, we, the workers, are enduring an immense amount of suffering. We work under extreme heat without being allowed to drink water. They don't pay us enough. Our lunch breaks are not respected, so we go hungry. We are forced to work shifts lasting more than 10 hours. We suffer from wage theft, intimidation, and even retaliation. This is the sad reality for thousands of nursery workers. But we know that we are essential and we deserve respect. Without us, these companies would not have a single dollar. Without us, there would be no plants in any of these stores. Where would they make their profits without the labor of our hands? Today, it brings us great joy to see all of you here for our very first planting March for Planting Justice. Organizing with WeCount, we are building a strong movement and we have found a solution. It's called Planting Justice. We are uniting the power of all nursery workers, consumers, and the community to drive a real change. Today, we are calling on all stores that source plants from Florida nurseries where we work, such as Trader Joe's, Aldi, Home Depot, Sprouts, and Target. We need to meet with leaders in these corporations, and we are still waiting on their response. If the lives and health of workers and their supplanters matter so much to them, why won't they meet with us? Our message today is clear. It is time for these corporations to sit down at the table with nursery workers, join the Planting Justice program to major retailers and growers. It is time for you to step up and be part of the solution. Yes. Today, we will march through the streets of Coral Gables to deliver this message directly to them and to continue our fight for fair wages, safe working conditions, and the respect of our workers. And with your support, we will win. And now, thank you so much for joining us. And now I would like to introduce a fellow worker, Ana Mejia.
So how many more people?
Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you in a rush?
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Ana Mejía.
Estamos bien animados.
Soy salvadoreña. Trabajé por más de 12 años en la industria de las mercerías. Soy miembro de WeCount, líder de la campaña Sembrando Justicia y organizadora de trabajadores en el programa de alcance en las mercerías. Hoy quiero compartir mi historia como sobreviviente de un golpe de calor en una mercería del sur de la Florida con ganancias multimillonarias. En septiembre del 2022 comencé mi jornada a las 7:30 de la mañana. Era un día muy caluroso y húmedo. Mi estándar de trabajo era podar 101 plantas por hora. A partir de las 9 a.m. comencé a sentir los efectos del calor extremo con mucho sudor, dolor de cabeza intenso. La mercería nunca había capacitado a los trabajadores sobre la prevención de enfermedades de calor, ni contaba con un plan de emergencia. Me colocaba paños mojados en el cuello para aliviar el calor. Sin embargo, solo me sentía bien por rato. En la mercería trabajamos vigilados, no porque nos quieran proteger, sino para sacar la producción. Si nos detenemos, somos penalizados con aviso y amenazas de despido. Por eso, aunque me sentía mal, seguía trabajando. Para un trabajador agrícola que cubra un salario mínimo, es muy difícil cubrir los gastos básicos de pago de renta, alimentos, gastos médicos, transporte y educación de niños. Alrededor de las 2 de la tarde mi cuerpo temblaba. Estaba muy agotada. Sentía ganas de vomitar y mucha presión en el pecho. Fue cuando entendí que necesitaba ayuda de inmediato porque mi vida estaba en peligro. Le dije al supervisor que necesitaba ayuda. Me llevó a la oficina, ahí me atendió el personal administrativo. La enfermera de turno ese día no se encontraba. Me dijeron que me quitara la mayor parte de la ropa, me recostaron en una camilla, me dieron un poco de Gatorade y me indicaron que esperara un rato hasta reponerme. En ese momento muchos pensamientos pasaron por mi mente. Pensé en lo desamparado que quedarían mis hijos si yo les faltaba. Sentí mucha rabia porque por haberme esforzado tanto ese día sin considerar mi salud para poder sacar esa producción que tanto nos exigen. Recordé otros momentos donde compañeros han sufrido accidentes y la compañía solo los ha descartado. Me indigné mucho ese día. Ese tiempo de recuperación se sintió como una eternidad, hasta que escuché una voz que me preguntó: ¿qué vas a hacer? ¿Vas a regresar a tu área de trabajo o te vas para la casa? Sinceramente, en ese momento me fui para mi casa. Los síntomas que había sentido del golpe de calor habían sido muy fuertes y tenía que reponerme. Nunca llamaron una ambulancia, no me llamaron en la tarde para conocer mi estado de salud. Tampoco fui incluida en un plan de seguimiento por el accidente. Y lo peor, eventualmente cada vez que denuncié actividades inseguras, sufrí represalias, hasta que fue intolerable continuar trabajando en esa compañía. En el 2024 fui parte de un grupo de encuestadores en Wickham a 323 trabajadores de las mercerías. Nuestro trabajo se resume en el reporte El costo humano de las plantas de interior. A través de las encuestas descubrimos condiciones no sanitarias, serios peligros relacionados con la exposición a químicos y accidentes de calor. Estas fueron las 3 principales causas de enfermedades en las mercerías. El 83% de los trabajadores reportó haber sido obligados a trabajar sin ningún tipo de acceso a descanso bajo sombra durante el día de trabajo. Mientras nuestras vidas peligran en las mercerías, las tiendas como Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's compran el 50% de nuestra producción. Generan billones de dólares a expensas de nuestra vida. Ninguno de nosotros continuará arriesgando su vida para crecer la riqueza de un grupo de trabajadores. Hoy, en el Día Internacional del Trabajador, marchamos convencidos de que nuestro reclamo es justo y digno. Demandamos a las tiendas compradoras de plantas que negocien con los trabajadores de las mercerías y firmen su compromiso con el programa Sembrando Justicia. ¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
Now for the English translation. Is this better? Or this one?
Both. Los dos.
Both?
And yell, project.
Good afternoon. My name is Ana Mejia. I am from El Salvador. I've worked for over 12 years in the nursery industry. I am a member of WeCount, a leader of the Planting Justice campaign, and a worker organizer in the outreach program in plant nurseries. Today, I want to share my story as a survivor of heat stroke at a multi-million-dollar nursery in South Florida. In September 2022, I began my workday at 7:30 a.m. It was a very hot and humid day. My work quota required me to prune 101 plants per hour. Starting at 9 a.m., I began to feel the effects of the extreme heat, such as profuse sweating and an intense headache. Although the nursery never trained us workers on heat illness prevention and did not have an emergency plan in place, I placed rags on my neck to try to alleviate the heat, but I only felt relief for a brief moment. In the nurseries, we work under constant surveillance, not because they want to protect us, but to maximize our production. If we stop working, we are penalized with written warnings and threats of being fired. Even though I felt unwell, I kept working. For an agricultural worker earning the minimum wage, it is really difficult to cover our basic expenses such as rent, food, medical care, transportation, and our children's education. Around 2 p.m., my body began to tremble. I was completely exhausted and nauseous. I felt an intense pressure in my chest. I realized I needed immediate help. My life was in serious danger. I told my supervisor that I needed help. He took me to the office. The staff attended to me since the nurse on duty was not present that day. They told me to remove most of my clothes. They laid me down, gave me some Gatorade, and told me to wait until I had recovered. In that moment, countless thoughts raced through my mind. I thought about how helpless my children would be if I were no longer there for them. I felt a surge of anger for having pushed myself so hard that day to comply with the company's quotas without regard for my own health. I recalled other moments where co-workers had suffered accidents only for the company to cast them aside. I was outraged. The recovery period felt like an eternity until, finally, I heard a distant voice ask me, "Ana, are you going to return to your work area?" I told them unequivocally that I was going home, that the heat stroke had been severe and I needed to recover. They never called an ambulance. They didn't call me later that afternoon to check on my condition. I wasn't included in any accident follow-up protocol. And, worst of all, over time, whenever I reported unsafe practices, I faced retaliation until continuing to work at that company became simply intolerable. In 2024, I was part of a group of surveyors with the WeCount that surveyed 323 other nursery workers. Our findings are summarized in the report, The Human Cost of Houseplants. Through these surveys, we uncovered unsanitary conditions, serious hazards related to chemical exposure, and heat-related accidents. These were the three leading causes of illness within plant nurseries. More than 83% of the workers reported being forced to work without any access to shaded rest areas during their shifts. While our lives hang in the balance within these nurseries, retailers like Home Depot, Walmart, and Lowe's purchase 50% of our production. They generate billions of dollars at the expense of our lives. None of us will continue to risk our lives merely to grow the wealth of a handful of corporate executives who have absolutely no interest in the well-being of their workers. Today, on International Workers' Day, we march, convinced that our demands are both just and worthy. We call upon the retailers that purchase our plants to join the Planting Justice program. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
My name is Gerardo Reyes Chavez. I am part of the Coalition of Immokalee Workers. Soy parte de la coalición de trabajadores de Immokalee. Y bueno, estoy muy contento de poder estar aquí acompañándolos este día. Voy a compartir este mensaje donde me gustaría hablar sobre dos formas en las que se vive el trabajo. Una, la que conocemos todos nosotros como trabajadores muy bien, levantarse de madrugada cuando el cuerpo aún pide descanso, trabajar sin protección contra el calor, con sueldos que no alcanzan, donde el abuso es la norma y el miedo forma parte del trabajo. Esa realidad la viven muchos trabajadores, pero no es la única realidad. De la lucha de los trabajadores de Immokalee nació algo distinto. El programa de comida justa, o FFP. El primer modelo de responsabilidad social dirigida por trabajadores, o WSR. Esto no fue por accidente. Esto éramos nosotros como trabajadores luchando en contra de los abusos que habían existido por generaciones. En los años 90, cuando los rancheros no quisieron escucharnos después de muchas acciones, decidimos ampliar nuestro enfoque y en el año 2001 presionamos a las grandes corporaciones y les dijimos: si ustedes se benefician de nuestro trabajo y permiten que el abuso exista en su cadena, tienen responsabilidad sobre nuestra dignidad. Y algo cambió. Hoy, con 14 acuerdos, los trabajadores no tienen que aguantar el acoso ni las represalias. Trabajamos con agua, descanso, sombra y derechos humanos donde antes no había. Eso es el FFP y de ahí nació el WSR y ahora se ha expandido a las lecherías de Vermont, la construcción en Minnesota, las fábricas de ropa en Bangladesh, Lesoto y Pakistán, y las flores en Chile y Sudáfrica. El FFP es la solución contra los abusos en los campos y el WSR es el camino hacia el frente. El cambio verdadero llega cuando los trabajadores se organizan, llega cuando sus voces son escuchadas y sus sueños tomados en cuenta. Hoy, WeCount busca expandir el WSR a las nurserías y estamos aquí con mucho orgullo para apoyarlos en esto, marchando juntos para exigir que las corporaciones se unan a Sembrando Justicia. Cada trabajador merece un mundo donde la dignidad no se tenga que negociar, un mundo donde trabajar no signifique elegir entre el respeto y la supervivencia. El momento de la responsabilidad social dirigida por trabajadores ha llegado, porque la dignidad no es el futuro, la dignidad es el presente y venimos a exigirla. Estamos sembrando justicia. Estamos sembrando justicia hoy y luchando juntos. Sabemos que el tiempo de la cosecha llegará pronto. Gracias.
La mano arriba,
Y bueno, ahora me gustaría intentarlo en inglés. Vamos a ver cómo nos sale.
Eso.
Yo aprendí inglés escuchando a la gente hablar inglés. Entonces, si me sale mal, en parte es su culpa también. I want to talk about two ways in which work happens. One way that we know too well as workers, waking up before dawn, when the body still longs for rest, working without protection from the heat, with wages that are not enough, where abuse is the norm and fear becomes part of the job. But it is not the only reality. From the struggle of the workers of Immokalee, something different was born. The Fair Food Program, or FFP, in 2011, the first model of worker-driven social responsibility, or WSR. This was not by accident. This was workers fighting against abuse.
All volunteers go over there. I'm doing election.
In the 90s, when our community started organizing, the growers refused to listen to us. That's why in 2001, we widened our focus to pressure the corporations. And we asked them, and we told them, if you benefit from our work and allow abuse in your supply chain, you have responsibility for our dignity. And something changed. Today, the 14 agreements that we have mean no harassment, no retaliation, water, rest, shade, and human rights in the fields. That is the FFP, and from it, the WSR was born and is now expanding. It has expanded to dairy farms in Vermont, construction in Minnesota, the textile industry in factories in Bangladesh, Lesotho, Pakistan, flowers in Chile, and South Africa as well. The FFP is the solution to abuses in the field, and WSR is the path forward. True change comes when workers organize, when their voices are heard, and when their dreams are protected and fought for. Today, WeCount seeks to expand WSR to the nurseries, and we are here to support them in every way we can, marching together to demand that corporations join Sembrando Justicia. Every worker deserves a world where dignity is not negotiable, a world where working does not mean having to choose between respect and survival. To the corporations I say, the time for WSR has arrived, because dignity is not the future, it is the present, and we're here, and we are here to demand it. We're sowing justice today, and we know that fighting together, the time to harvest will come. Thank you very much.
¡Sí se puede! ¡Y nunca más! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Y nunca más!
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, no, that wasn't good. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That's what I like it. My name is Jeffrey Mitchell, and I'm the president of the South Florida AFL-CIO. We are proud to be here today in full solidarity with the plant nursery workers. Is this better? Yes! All right, all right. All right, we got some mic checkers out there. All right, thank you. We're basically partners with WeCount, because what is happening to these workers is wrong, and because working people deserve better. Earlier this week, we gathered with workers at the Workers' Memorial at the Port of Miami to honor those of who have been injured, made sick, or lost their lives on the job. We remembered workers whose lives were cut short by dangerous working conditions, preventable failures, and we reminded ourselves that this is not history. And we reminded ourselves that this is still happening today. It's still happening. all right, in this country and in this state. Across the United States, more than 380 workers die every day of job injuries and occupational disease, and thousands more are injured and made sick because of unsafe working conditions. In Florida alone, hundreds of workers lose their lives on the job every year. Those numbers are devastating, but they are not just numbers. They are people. They are families. There are communities left to carry the pain. The same fight we talked about earlier this week, the fight for safe jobs, dignity, and respect on the job, is the fight we are standing in right now with the plant nursery workers. South Florida, the South Florida AFL-CIO represents union members. Got some here today. I see SEIU, United Teachers Today, Unite Here, the painters, and more. And we're standing in solidarity with you. Our mission is to fight for dignity and safety and justice for all working people. That is why our partnership with We Count matters so much. We are proud to have worked with We Count since 2019 on wage theft and educational outreach campaigns focused on low-wage workers and their rights on the job. Together, we help make significant additions to the wage theft ordinance that have benefited the Miami-Dade workers in the county. We also worked side by side for 2.5 years to build support for heat stress. The ordinance, including setting up meetings with the county commissioners and helping move forward that fight. Our collaboration was so strong that we received support from the Lift Foundation. For 2 years in a row now, we've gotten a grant to help out in this fight. I say that because I want people to understand that this alliance is built on real work, real trust, and real commitment. As a labor movement, we know that our unions must be in partnership with allies who work closely with the unserved immigrant communities and others who are too often invisible in power. As a labor movement, I want to continue. If we want to uplift working people, we must have to stand with these face the harsh abuse and the fewest protections. We got to stand with them. Plant nursery workers are part of an industry that generates enormous wealth. The labor helped produce these plants are sold by only immigrants. And these giant national corporations bought into homes and stores across the country, but too many of those same workers are laboring in dangerous heat, face exploitation, and being denied dignity and protections every worker deserves. And we know this is not speculation. Workers themselves have told us what they're facing. They have reported illness and injury on the job. They have reported working in extreme heat without basic protections like water, shade, rest. They have reported conditions that no worker should ever have to be faced to endure. Today, we're calling on the mega corporations to meet directly with the workers and sign an agreement that says they will not do business with growers that exploit workers. That shouldn't be controversial. If these companies profit from this industry, then they have the responsibility to hear directly from the people whose labor make the profit possible. That's right. In Florida, in a state like Florida, where our heat is growing more extreme every year, not weaker. Instead, we have seen efforts to block the very protections workers need. Miami-Dade tried to move forward with heat protection for workers, and the effort was eliminated by the state legislation. Let me repeat that. Miami-Dade tried to do something and the state came in and preempted it. I'm going to remind you in November that they all are on the ballot. All right? And so we're going to do our part to help give out some pink slips. All right? We're going to get some people that think about working out. That was a wrong decision, and workers are paying the price for it. We want an economy where workers are not disposable. We want an economy that heat protection, fair wages, and basic human dignity is not optional. This is about accountability and justice. It is also about a broader future we are trying to build in the state of Florida. The labor movement is proud to stand with We Count. I'm going to repeat that. The labor movement is proud to stand with We Count. And proud to stand behind every nursery worker. And proud to stand with every worker demanding respect. Because when workers are forced to suffer in silence, all of us are diminished. But when workers are organized, when communities stand with labor, and when we demand accountability together, we build the counterpower that can change lives. Thank you. My name is Jeffrey Mitchell. I'm the president of South Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right, how's everyone doing? Seguimos? Do we continue? Yes. All right. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Woo! Beautiful. So we're gonna pass it over to our next worker for today, Clarissa.
Buenas tardes a todos y cada uno de ustedes. Un aplauso para cada uno de ustedes.
Good afternoon to all of you and a welcome to all of you for being here.
Mi nombre es Clarissa Pérez y pertenezco a la 32BJ. Orgullosamente soy miembro de la Unión.
My name is Clarissa Perez and I am proud member of 32BJ Union.
Vengo a compartir un poco de mi historia, cómo fue el proceso que ha cambiado mi vida al llegar y pertenecer a la 32BJ, la Unión.
And I'm here to tell my story about the life-changing experience that I've lived when I became a union member of 32BJ.
Muy orgullosamente puedo decir que cuando conocí y vine a ser miembro de la 32BJ, la Unión, mi vida ha cambiado un 90%, grande, es algo inexplicable para mí.
Truly, my life since the moment that I walked and I became member of 32BJ is actually been a 90% difference, a turnaround of my life and my conditions.
Actualmente trabajo para la compañía CBN.
Currently, I work for the company CBN.
Y gracias a la unión hemos logrado muchos beneficios de los cuales no gozábamos en ese entonces. Algo que quiero dejar muy en claro es, el enemigo más grande de los trabajadores es el miedo. Si ustedes pierden el miedo, la lucha es fuerte y nadie lo va a parar.
So I want to say something very clearly, because when I came to 32BJ, by organizing with workers, we were able to win benefits and change the conditions under which we work. And I have to say something very clearly. The biggest enemy of workers is fear. fear. And so here as workers, we are letting go of the fear to win our rights.
Y también les quiero decir que no están solos. Aquí venimos a representarlos, a acompañarlos. Recuerden que tienen el apoyo de todos nosotros, a los hermanos que están luchando, que son de los viveros, no sé cómo le llaman, las plantas. Ajá, que ellos recuerden, no están solos, aquí estamos para apoyarlos, aquí está la 32 BJ en su lucha.
And to remind all of the workers here today, the folks that are working nursery jobs, that all workers are here in solidarity, that we see you and that you are not alone because workers are united.
Lo último, nuestra unión no es de una persona, somos miles y miles y miles y miles, y a eso es lo que le tienen miedo. Cuando nos levantamos nadie nos detiene, así que les animo, sean valientes, quiten ese miedo y adelante, porque estos patrones, cuando miran que nosotros nos organizamos, ellos tienen miedo porque saben que van a perder el poder en ustedes.
And the last thing that I'm going to share is lose your fear, build your courage, because when workers are united, when they see that we gather with each other, that we're coming together, the patrons, the bosses, they get scared because they know that we have the power. And that's what I'm encouraging you here to do. All of us as workers to come together and to let our bosses know what we need.
Unidos jamás seremos vencidos. Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede.
Hi everybody, my name is Maya McCoy and I'm a resident doctor here in Miami-Dade County. I'm here representing CIR, the Committee of Interns and Residents, and part of SEIU as well, in the SEIU family. I'm honored to be here today, standing with nursery workers who deserve improved conditions to protect their health and ability to thrive into the future. In the hospital, we see the impacts of heat, both leading to life-threatening short-term emergencies and to long-term harm in the form of kidney disease, immune system dysfunction, and heart disease. We're seeing cases of young people with severe kidney disease tied to heat stress, pesticide exposure, and chronic dehydration, and we know that plant nursery workers are regularly exposed to these harms. Not only that, but 8 in 10 plant nursery workers report seeing a coworker get sick or injured on the job. As healthcare workers, we can counsel all we want on people to protect themselves from heat, but our words are meaningless when their lived realities mean they have to report back to work every day in the conditions that threaten their well-being, just to receive paychecks that aren't even enough to live. There are easy ways to prevent workers from long-term consequences like dialysis dependence and major surgery. Instead, in the hospital, we place Band-Aids in the form of hydration and short-term medications, and we have the moral injury of discharging people back to unsafe conditions, knowing that agricultural workers are 35 times more likely to die from heat exposure than the general population. Plant nursery workers deserve improved conditions, and corporations need to hear their concerns regarding their rights to fair wages, paid sick leave, and protections from extreme heat and pesticides. These corporations, Aldi, Trader Joe's, Target, they claim to stand for social responsibility. They must sign on and address the demands of the Planting Justice program. The health and future of our community depend on it. Thank you so much. Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Yaité. Soy trabajadora en la compañía de SkyChef. Tengo 10 años como miembro y líder en nuestra unión United Here 355. Nuestra unión representa a 7.000 trabajadores de hospitalidad aquí en el sur de la Florida. Estamos aquí hoy, 1 de mayo, Día de los Trabajadores, apoyando a nuestras hermanas y hermanos que trabajan en el campo y vívero de plantas y su campaña Sembrando Justicia. Cuando pienso en la palabra solidaridad y de lo que aprendí en mi unión, no importa de dónde vienen, no importa qué idioma habla, ni su raza, todos somos trabajadores, somos iguales y todos merecemos dignidad, respeto y una vida mejor, libre y sin miedo. Nosotros como trabajadores de SkyChef, como los trabajadores de plantas y flores, trabajamos por una compañía que está ganando millones y millones de dólares. Gracias a nuestro trabajo, la única manera de ganar los sueldos y beneficios que merecemos es unirnos y luchar. Cada planta y cada flor, cada cuarto en un hotel, cada comida que compra alguien aquí en el sur de la Florida tiene una historia de un trabajador o trabajadora que están cultivando las plantas, limpiando los cuartos o cocinando su comida. No hay Miami sin nosotros los trabajadores. Realmente somos Miami. Desde los manos en el campo desde las manos en el campo de hostel hasta los trabajadores de hoteles de Miami Beach. Esta marcha es solo un ejemplo de la fuerza que tenemos aquí como movimiento y un mensaje a los trabajadores de WeCount y Sembrando Justicia. Y pueden contar con nosotros y vamos a caminar todos juntos. ¿Se puede o no se puede? ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
Now for the English translation. Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Yaité. I'm a worker in the company SkyChef, and I have served for 10 years as both a member and leader of our union, Unite Here Local 355. Our union represents 7,000 hospitality workers here in South Florida. We are here today, May 1st, International Workers' Day, to stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers who work in the fields and plant nurseries, and to support their Planting Justice campaign. When I reflect on the word solidarity and on the lessons I've learned through my union, I am reminded that it does not matter where you come from, what language you speak, or your race. We are all workers, we're all equal, and we all deserve dignity, respect, and a better life, a life free of fear. We, as workers at SkyChef, just like the workers in the plant and flower industries, work for a company that generates millions upon millions of dollars thanks to our labor. The only way for us to win the wages and benefits we deserve is to unite and fight. Every plant and every flower, every hotel room, every meal purchased here in South Florida has a story of a worker. Someone cultivating their plants, cleaning their rooms, or cooking the food. There is no Miami without us, the workers. We are Miami. From the hands working in the fields in Homestead to the hotel staff in Miami Beach. This march is just one example of the collective power we possess as a movement. It serves as a message to the workers of WeCount and the Planting Justice campaign. You can count on us. We will march together.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is John Joseph, and I represent Beyond the Bars. We're an organization led by workers with records, building workers and empowering within Florida and beyond. I'm here today to support our sister organization, WeCount, in their first ever march for Planting Justice. A little bit about me. I'm sorry. A little bit about me. I started working in the construction industry in 2002 for a few years with the Tandem Construction Group. I left the construction industry just only to return in 2011 during the recession, and the recession is still around. I have I have been working within the construction industry within 25 years now. Oh, a little bit over 25 years. After working with the carpentry union, I work with a labor pool company that is called CLP. They're a community labor partnership. And what I had noticed during that time while I was working with that labor company was that the contractors was not hiring individuals directly. They were referring them to go to a labor agency or a temporary work agency or a labor pool. And for years, these workers in the construction industry have often worked with these constant exposures to the heat, to the sun, and to inadequate water and respirators. These conditions I've worked alongside with immigrants, those formerly incarcerated, and those that just need decent work with this rising economy. Everything's rising except for our wages. So these workers are the ones who are never fairly get the opportunity from the employers. So we are funneled within the construction industry and these labor pools. Their labors are solely sold through these contracts, and they're considered to be modern-day slavery. What happens in these construction industry is not separated from what is happening today with the plant nursery workers in South Florida. It was very disappointing to me when I had heard of the disappointing fact that 62% of our plant nursery workers are being given unsanitary water, dirty water. And that is something that we must stand up against. That is something that we must hold these profitable corporations, major corporations, and send them to the table with recount. This is why we're here. I'm sorry for the pause. This is why we're here. We are Beyond the Bars. And we are here to voice our opposition to these unfair treatments that we, our brothers and sisters from our agricultural community are suffering. The unfair wages, the unrest, the unprotected gear like in construction, we're given hard hats and safety vests and something that is to allow us to have a regular work day. So we're here to stand with solidarity with We Count, our sister organization, and we are Beyond the Bars.
¡Se puede! ¡Se puede! ¡Puede!
¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede!
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Moi relais Joseph Gillet. Moi c'est un haïtien et moi c'est un leader dans la campagne planter justice. Moi j'ai 5 ans depuis ma travail dans le jardin bois ici dans Sud Florida.
My name is Joseph Gillet. I'm from Haiti. George. Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Gillet. I'm from Haiti, and I'm a leader of the Planting Justice Campaign. I have worked in plant nursery for 5 years.
Permettez-moi de dire que depuis moi petit en Haïti, moi t'apprends que l'important pour nous rester connectés avec la terre. L'amour pour la terre avec la campagne, c'était la première leçon que moi t'apprends des parents et des ancêtres pour nous. Je te dis moi que la terre te baille la vie, la terre te baille la joie. Bon ici dans Sud Florida, c'est pas ça moi ouais.
I would like to begin by telling you that back in Haiti, I learned that living in connection with the land is an integral part of our life's purpose. The love for the land and for rural life was one of the very first lessons I've received from my parents. From a young age, I understood that the earth is the source of life and well-being.
Nous-mêmes travailleurs, nous jouons en pile mauvais traitement. Travailler la terre ici, passer misère en pile. Passer tout l'autre côté. Nous travaillons dans plusieurs départements. Séclé, planté, dans le dépôt, dans chargé camion et la trier. Chaque département ça a demandé gros effort. Nous travaillons parfois sans arrêter. Dans un chalet qui vit parfois à 90 degrés, dans l'humidité, Floride, pays.
However, upon arriving in Florida, I discovered a very different reality. I was shocked when I began working in the industry. The exploitation that the workers face have led us, workers, to recognize that South Florida serves as the epicenter of human rights violation within the nursery industry. As a nursery worker, I have experience in various areas of the job. I have worked in weeding, planting, and lining up. Each of these tasks entails immense physical exertion in extremely high temperatures, often exceeding 90 degrees in Florida, units surviving.
En abséclé, nous obligés de prendre position qui raide. Pour nous cocher comme nous, parfois, nous à genoux et nous faisons un seul mouvement, sans arrêter. C'est naredi pour nous faire 500 plans. Nous pas de gants, nous obligés de faire ça avec nous. Si à nous, nous rabouons terre. C'est nous qui achetons gants nous. Là, nous capables de kembe. Nous pas aucune protection.
When weeding, we workers are forced to work bending over or striding, while performing strenuous, repetitive pulling movements with our arms or hands without pulling. The production's quota can reach as high as 500 plants per row per worker. We perform this work entirely by hand, without the aid of any tools. We workers must purchase our own load. As the owners do not even provide us with protective equipment.
Les gens travaillent dans le dépôt, nous sommes obligés de mettre en bas gros chaille qui peut parfois dépasser 10 gallons. Et des plantes qui viennent piquant, c'est nous qui pouvons dégager nous, pas pour mettre Jean-Jacques, pour nous lever. C'est ça qui fait que, en pile dans nous, quand nous souffrons à poulaille, nous jouons nous. Et nous pouvons blesser tout. Et nous pas nous protection, nous pas de soins. Et nous travaillons dans le dépôt. Nous sommes obligés de lever gros, maman Pemba, qui compte plus passer 10 gallons. Les plantes qui viennent dans nous, nous n'avons pas aucune protection. Il faut que travail la fête, pressé.
When we are assigned to the shipping area, we lift and carry pots ranging in size from 2 to 10 gallons. Some of the plants that we handle are foreign, yet we are provided with no safety gear to protect us with moving them. Many of us suffer injuries and cuts to the skin that go completely untreated. Most orders are fulfilled by teams of just 2 workers, tasked with loading massive quantities, sometimes as many as 10,000 plants, onto a single truck. It is a job we must perform at breakneck speed, carrying 4 pots at a time, 2 in each hand, without stopping. During the season, we have managed to load more than 20 trucks in a single day.
Il y a des jours, nous sommes obligés de charger plus passer 20 camions. Nous travaillons sous contrat. Nous touchons 1 centime par pièce. Parfois, nous travaillons juste pour décomposer. Et puis, si superviseur fait magouille, comme blanc, non, comme nous. Comme quoi, nous avons bouté tant qu'esclaves.
Our work is contract based. The rate of each item we need adds up to more to pennies. This system forces us to produce until we are on the verge of collapse. Supervisors manipulate the rates, and by the end of the week, the resulting paycheck fails to reflect the full extent of the effort we have expended. This is a fundamental problem within the industry that perpetuates conditions to slavery. Under this regime, we are denied access to water, rest breaks, and restrooms, while our wages are contingent upon minimum conditions.
Nous travaillons ou bête, nous ne pouvons pas nous de l'eau, nous ne pouvons pas de repos, nous redisons en pile et conditions de travail, pas bon titre pour nous.
We are working like animals, if not giving water, and the conditions, as you know, are very, 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 very bad.
Fatigue là en pile, et là nous sentons pas capable de supporter. Parfois, regardez, pour faire le travail nous qui est indisposé en bas pression, chaleur pas même un petit médicament pour soulager nous. Votre travail à venir, il dit allez, là où il fait ou donner.
We're working as animals, and there is no break. And you know, most of the time, workers collapse to the ground, having suffered accidents of sudden heat stroke. The company response has constantly been, go home and come back when you are ready to resume work.
Pour les gens comme moi, même, il y a des gens comme vous-même qui remet la terre. Moi, je me sens en pile d'indignation et moi, je me demande qui gens gros millionnaires fait permettre qu'il y a déshonoré notre travail qui est aussi sacré comme ça.
As a worker who loves the land, I am outraged to see how growers and the retailers who purchase plants from these nurseries to generate multi-million-dollar profits have allowed such sacred work to be dishonored. To the corporate executive, to the retail chains who enrich themselves by promoting plants as a symbol of health and vitality. I say this.
Surtout que les plein poche, ils ont créé que plante by la santé. Tant que Trader Joe, Home Depot, Trader Joe, Aldi, Target, Sprite, Home Depot, Target et la trier. Ils ont prendre responsabilité.
We refuse to accept that thousands of lives must be shattered to produce the plants sold by stores such as Trader Joe's, Aldi, Home Depot, Target, Sprouts, and many others. Especially when this company refused to accept responsibility for the dangers we face with production process.
Nous-mêmes travaillons journée aujourd'hui à présenter le rapport ça. El costo humano de las plantas de interior que evidencia su fracaso.
We, the workers, hereby present a report titled The Human Cost of Indoor Plants, a document that serves as irrefutable evidence of their failure.
Journée aujourd'hui, c'est journée internationale pour travailler. Travailler jardin à tous les amis alliés nous. Exiger une rencontre à toutes les coopératives, magasins, pour qu'ils viennent dans des messages nous à proposition nous. Faire pour nous changer ça. Les arriver pour gagner un chute attendez à tout travailleurs pour capable signer un bas protocole que Planté Justice préparé.
Today, on International Workers' Day, we, the nursery workers and all our allies, demand a meeting with the corporate leadership of every of these retail chains. Listen to our stories and consider the proposal we have crafted to resolve the systemic crises that this industry has created. The time has come to sit down, the workers, and sign on to the Planting Justice Program. No more exploitation or abuse in nursery. Enough is enough.
nous capables.
We no capable. We no capable. We no capable. We no capable.
Merci beaucoup.
No peace.
How we feeling, everybody?
Yeah.
All right, it's a beautiful Friday, May Day. Okay, ¿cómo nos sentimos todo el mundo?
Yeah.
Okay, es un día bello para marchar. My name is Claudia Navarro. I serve as co-director of We Count. Ok, me llamo Claudia Navarro, sirvo como codirectora de We Count. Mi tarea hoy es darle las instrucciones de la marcha, ok, so escuchen muy bien. My task today